Alright. Am I on here? Everybody see me? Kelly, can you hear me? Not quite sure what's happening. YouTube obviously dicking me around like usual. Nothing too strange, you know. How are you though? Hopefully you're doing pretty good. Hopefully. Down there. Have you seen the mosquitoes? Those crazy bastards. I'm pretty good. I'm doing a lot better than I have been. Doing a lot better than I have been. That's for sure. Thank the good Lord above, and I literally mean that. No mosquitoes? That's good. That's good. Because from what I've heard, they were supposed to be pretty intense. I can say that here in Ohio, though, we have some aggressive ass mosquitoes. I wanted to talk about it a while ago, and I never got to. I had a mosquito land in my ear, and it sounded like a two-stroke motor was going off in my damn ear. And I was like, what the hell? So I reach over and smack it, right? This thing stayed in my ear, still bit me in my effing ear after I hit it. Like, I hit it, it sounded like a two-stroke, and it still bit me. Like, so they're kind of aggressive this year, at least here. Yeah, dude, I was like, I might as well smell fumes on that. Like, that's like how loud the wings sounded. I mean, you know, it was in my ear, but it was intense and it was aggressive. And then there's these other mosquitoes, they're biting through shirts. Like, I was bit through my shirt the other day. I was stunned. Like, how is that even possible? But, you know, hey, when you use CRISPR to genetically alter every living thing on the face of the earth, you know, there's a good chance we'll have a lot of crazy shit. We do too. The stink bugs, they're all over. They're all over here. And they've gone away, come back, gone away, come back. You know, nothing's really quite sure what to do with all this climate change. This climate manipulation, I mean. As for the weather, you know, you guys have seen at least a couple of my videos. Dual sunsets, objects that move separately from the sun, you know. I said it before, I said it when it first happened. My camera on my phone was updated, and ever since the update has happened, it doesn't focus the way it used to on the sun. So I'm having a really hard time. What's up? How you doing? Rebel Jedi, how we doing? I using the last stream, I think. I haven't streamed in a minute though, so. Yes, it is kind of chilly here. Yeah, check out the apparel, you know what I mean? Like, dude, yeah, it's been a little nippy here. 40s, well, yeah, about 40s and 50s, you know. It's not, 50s aren't too bad, I dig it, but 40s, it gets a little chilly at night coming outside. Oh, and that's another thing. As you guys know, I watch the sky all the time. Like, so I had this job. I was working a tree service job. And, oh, okay. Well, hey, have a good one, Rebel Jedi. Have a good one. No, so you guys know I watch the sky, like, quite often. I was working a tree service job. And, you know, I liked it. I don't know. I didn't like it. That's a lie. It's not a lie, but, I mean, I like the guy, but I didn't like the job itself. If I'm doing anything with trees, I want to be planting them, not cutting them down. And I also, if I'm going to do anything with trees, it's going to be a different type of tree anyways, more than likely. But just saying, and whatever. But the point is, I didn't like the job I had. I need some freedom in my life. I need to be able to stop what I'm doing and record what's above me right now. I need to be able to stop what I'm doing and communicate on YouTube. You know, I need freedom. That's why I do the jobs I do, because then I can associate with the people I want to associate with. I can still look at the sky and record videos, you know what I mean? So that's the way it is. So I quit, and the same week I see dual sunsets, Okay. Then I start picking that object up through the welding lens. That welding lens is weird though. It throws my camera off, and I think I got a lot of dislikes on that video because people think that, it's like some lens flare because of the distortion. Like, I'm not a jackass. I know what a lens flare is, okay? You can clearly see. That's why in the first video I even say look at the lens flare, because you see the big lens flare from the sun, right? And then you see the little dot from the little object inside or right beside it. As you move the camera or your phone, they distort both of them separately because they're both close together. You know what I mean? So the lens flares appear together because they're close. So that's why when I did it, I think a lot of people disliked it. But the problem is, it's still not a lens flare. And that welding lens, when you put it directly up to a camera lens, it distorts when it's looking through sometimes. And then the brightness of the sun also, you got to think, messes with my camera lens. And ever since it's been updated, it's really hard to see that object. But it's there, okay? I mean, it's there. I've recorded it twice. Well, actually, I've recorded it a few times. And I remember back in like 2012, 2013, my pops was showing me all these pictures he kept taking. And he would take pictures of the sunsets. And when he would do that, he'd pick this object up, and it was further away than what it was in my video just for the past 2 days. And that was back then, and I was still like a big time UFO guy. I was still a big time Planet X guy. And I'm like, Dad, that's Planet X. And he had he wanted nothing to do with it. Didn't want to hear none of it. So whatever. But that was back then. So it's definitely still there, in my opinion, whatever it may be. I mean, it could be man-made for all we know. Who knows? I said it in that video. I think the technology that we are up against is so advanced that we don't even have the words to properly describe it to one another. Okay, that's where my thought process is on them. And things like the, D-waves, the sentient world simulation things, prove that. Now, on to the next part of this. I'm working on a video because something very intense just happened in the quantum realm and the quantum computing genre of science. Now, it's pretty big. So, IBM, using a 5-qubit quantum computer, only a 5-qubit quantum computer, that's it, okay? They have created an AI algorithm that mimics life. So 1 qubit represents the genome, 1 qubit represents the phenome, and then there's still 3 remaining qubits because it's only on a 5-qubit quantum computer. So the remaining qubits then simulate genetic mutations, reproduction, evolution, and death. Okay, so this is all simulated with superposition, which means 0 or 1 at the same time. In the quantum realm, the qubits they're 0 and 1 at the same time. That's superposition. And then entanglement. Now, entanglement doesn't exist in the classical computing, so we can simulate life in classical computing, but not like this. So by them doing this is major. Now, with entanglement, all the qubits interact with one another. You can't describe 1 qubit by itself, okay? With entanglement, you have to describe them all, okay? They have, like, individual characteristics, but it shapes them as a whole, okay? So, like, because you know how it is. It's the same thing with antimatter, If you're storing it on the other side of the earth, and then you have some over here, what you're doing to this over here is affecting it over there. So that's the entanglement part. And they simulated life with entanglement and superposition on an IBM Q4 quantum computer, and that's pretty intense. So if you think about that, what that means, and what they can then evolve with that, because that was on 5 qubits. Now remember, Anthony Patch and RFB live streams back in the day, think about that. They were talking about 1620 or 1420s, qubits. So if they're simulating life on a 5-qubit quantum computer with genetic evolution genetic evolution, mutations, death, and all that. Imagine what they can do on the big 1420s, and with a full, like, autonomous AI program running it. Imagine then, because this is only an algorithm just to mimic life. That's all. See, and here's what else I want to say about this. It's them doing the quantum realm. When you try to think quantum physics and you try to look at the quantum realm, it's absolute madness, right? Now, a lot of it doesn't even make sense to the normal mind because it's just so off the wall and crazy sounding. So when I look at it, they have to use this crazy ass major, and then they have to use these algorithms, these AI algorithms that they program, because it's an algorithm, to do something. They have to use an AI algorithm that they program to mimic life, and then run it on a D-wave quantum computer, which is already strange, because the molecules, when we're not observing them, do what they would do at the same time, like both possibilities at the same time. But then when we observe it with a camera or our eyes, they do one or the other. You see what I mean? So quantum computing basically hides it from our eyes so they can go into superposition and do both at the same time. Because when we observe it, they do that strange thing where they suddenly act different, right? Now, that just right there proves to you and me, I think, if I've explained this properly, that this is the strange world we live in, and that quantum mechanics are something that most people probably should not ever dabble with or even think about it. Because, once again, these things act differently when we watch them, and it's like they know they're being watched, these little particles, right? So when you think about that, and then you think about quantum computing as a whole, why they keep saying that parallel computing is going to be the new thing, right? Why? We have Watson on classical computers, and it can pick out patterns and stuff, like out of exponential numbers and like possibilities. But with Watson, there's still things that calculations that are still way too big, right? So with quantum computing, that even by the people that deal with quantum computing every day, the people that do this for a living, well, hello there. So even with the people that deal with quantum computing daily, they have even said it in their own words that they're essentially exploiting resources from dimensions, parallel dimensions, right? So here's the way. I have to give this summary before I put this next video out, because it's going to be a pretty in-depth video, I think. I've already started it twice and deleted it once by accident, so I was a little pissed. But here's the way to think about quantum computing and what really helped me. We're here in the middle, right? This is our little dimension, and this is what we choose to have happen, The reason quantum computers are so quick is because essentially they're tapping in to so many dimensions at the same time, both ways, seeing all the other possibilities, all the other outcomes, essentially, of that particle, or once it scales up, of whatever, or sentient world simulation type stuff, simulating us, and every living creature probably, God only knows. But you see what I mean? They're exploiting resources, and they're capable of solving such large calculations because essentially they're tapping into every possibility at once, or numerous possibilities. As the amount of qubits goes up, the more possibilities goes up as well. You know what I mean? The more superposition that is possible to happen, the more entanglement that is possible to happen. Yeah, kind of. In the Philadelphia experiment's a strange one too, You know, I did a lot of research on that back when I first started, like, really getting into the truth stuff with, like, military shit. And when I looked at the Philadelphia experiment, I'll tell you what, Einstein using relativity and all that shit to bend the light and, you know, all this and that, all his laws that he created and theorized and then were just kind of set into effect. But you take that and you look at that experiment, they straight up, yeah, teleport. What boat was it? The U.S. or the USS or the, oh shit, I can't remember. I can't remember. It was years ago. But anyways, yeah, bending light and causing that radioactive fog to teleport that boat to, like, Virginia, like from wherever it was, Philadelphia. If it was there, I don't know. But I'm guessing it was. I can't remember. It's been a while. But yeah, dude, like, people ended up, like, after the so-called teleportation, a lot of the crewmen on that boat ended up rematerialized into the hull or the stern of the boat itself. Like, the teleportation didn't work, or there was a side effect they didn't expect. Oh, I believe it happened too. I definitely do. Yeah, and yes, they do lie about everything else. I'm just saying, though, that quantum computing is a strange thing. So when you want to look at how they tap in and get so many results or calculations completed, however you want to, whatever you want to call it, however you want to look at it, it's essentially because they're going into all the other possibilities at the same time. You know what I mean? And like I said, entanglement with all those qubits, meaning you can't describe them independently. You have to describe them as a whole. That's entanglement, because each and every one affects each and every other one. So then you have superposition. That's the one, like I said, that when they're running their calculations, the qubit ends up being a 0 and a 1 at the same time, essentially. You know, so it's the superposition. And the artificial mimicked life they created was only on a 5-qubit quantum computer, okay? 5 qubits, that's it. 5. They simulated a genome and a phenome, and then with the remaining 3 qubits, simulated the genetic reproduction, the mutations, and then genetic traits being passed down, and then they also simulated the death of an organism, essentially. But like I said, it was programmed. So it was an AI algorithm that ran this on a quantum computer. So essentially, it was created for that purpose. It wasn't like a surprise that it mimicked life. You know, that was what it was created for. And that's the best part. That just proves right there that these people have to use this insane major of quantum mechanics in these insane machines to simulate a theory they want us to believe. You see what I mean? They have to use these crazy mad scientist inventions, these crazy devices that are 17 kilometers under 5 cities, and you know what I mean? To simulate the theories they want to push on everybody, like evolution. So, the video, though, I will be making it in the next couple of days, hopefully. 5 qubits, that's it. 5 qubits, it's simulated life, death, genetic mutations, and reproduction. That's pretty insane. And then when you think about that, remember my 5G video that I came out with a while back, and I said it's already getting put up? I said it's not active. And then I did say, though, that I'm sure some military and government agencies are using 5G. Well, now it's been activated in 4 cities: Houston, Sacktown, Sacramento, LA, and Indianapolis. Verizon has activated their little 5G Wi-Fi home things, which I don't think it's actually the speeds of 5G. It's pretty close, but I don't think it's actually all the way there yet. But now that it has been activated, if you think back to that video I put out, it said, I even said And I even played that video where the video even says, they're like, what is a 5G network? Well, even experts aren't quite sure yet. Well, I have a story on my phone right now, and it's talking about mixing the quantum computing with telecommunications market. Quantum computing doesn't compute by itself. It has to have classical computers, AI algorithms to run it also. So it's not on its own yet. Quantum supremacy, where that takes over, and we use that for like everything, all encryptions and all encryption breaking, that is not here yet. The Pentagon just put down like $2 billion for it, but whatever. It's not here yet. And like I said, you still need a classical computer with an AI algorithm or an AI type machine learning, general AI type program running the quantum computing. So if they mix it though with quantum or quantum communications, they mix those two. The thing about 5G, the reason it's going to be so much faster, when you send a text at the same time as somebody else and it, like they hit in the airwaves, and when they hit, it kind of like says retry, and then if you keep retrying and both of you are doing it at the same time or calling at the same time, it doesn't work. 5G has invented basically a locks system, like in the Panama Canal. They go around each other now, or like a roundabout, I think is what it actually was, what they called it in that 5G article, like a roundabout. So now two signals will come and go around each other, and it will no longer get hung up. So how does it know to time everything like that? And why do experts still not know exactly what 5G is? Well, there, right there. You know what I mean? If it's timing that and it knows, like the 5G, it has, they said the strength is also its weakness. Mr. Todd Wheeler, FCC chair guy, he even said its strength is its weakness. It's all those untapped high frequency radio millimeter wavelength bands up top, right? The super high ones. But because it's untapped, it's untapped because it's hard to work with it, right? So being hard to work with, they have to use its strength, which is they can use these millimeter waves in perfect straight lines and bounce it off of solids, right? That's their strength. So now they can bounce it all the way through a city to literally every street is covered in a 5G radioactive mess, basically, like a soup, right? It is essentially going to be ran with some sort of general machine learning or algorithmic type AI. It's going to have to. And then when the quantum gets mixed in, it's going to be that much quicker. And by the way, for anybody who thinks the quantum and telecommunications world haven't mixed yet, they already have in Spain. And as for the quantum computing video I will be putting out, I have to do a little more research because it's very, very in depth. But what's really cool is I found a website, and you're capable of doing so-called quantum. You're capable of doing quantum calculations on a public quantum computing server. So hopefully I will be able to understand it thoroughly enough, and I can show you demonstrations. They claim it's a real 5G processing server, whatever, to the public for science and business. Purple skies after Michael. Mosquitoes supposedly after Florence. Floods and broken dams everywhere. Have you guys think about that? Have you ever seen so many broken dams in 1 year? I have seen more dams break this year than I have, or heard of more dams breaking this year than I've ever heard of in my entire 30 years of this being on this earth. Like, it's crazy. Like I said in the video that I just put up today or yesterday, You know, I've seen more solar dogs and sun dogs or halos in the past 5 years than I ever had seen in my entire life. And I've always looked at the sky consistently. And speaking of the sky, the moon the other night, 2 nights ago, maybe 3 nights ago, that's what I heard. That's what I heard, Kelly. I heard it's been pouring there relentlessly. And, you know, that gets us onto another topic with Michael. You know, this community is pretty tightly knit. You know what I mean? So when In Truth by Grace puts that video out talking about Michael being a weapon, you're damn right. The majority of us have seen it because it's been shared by the community, right? Which is awesome. That was definitely a strike. Okay, buoys are the ones recording it. None of the buoys recorded those crazy wind speeds in the ocean, but then land, airports and stuff picked up the high speeds, still not the hurricane speeds, but high speeds, and only for a 23-mile gap. That's only where those winds were. So that doesn't make any sense. I mean, literally quoting In Truth by Grace, it was like a freight train went through. So I agree. Definitely something happened, you know. And I thought about it. Do you guys remember those videos? Yeah. Oh, Fisher, where at again, man? Where at? I'm sorry. It's so hard to remember everywhere. Um, but do you guys remember those videos of those so-called microbursts or downdrafts or updrafts even, where an updraft happens or a tornado happens, picks up all that stuff or animals and all kinds of crap off the ground, goes somewhere else, and then a microburst happens and it basically just explodes onto the ground? That's kind of what they did, like a supercharged microburst on the panhandle down there. That's kind of what happened, in my opinion. Does that mean that is what happened? No, that's just how I feel about it. I feel it was kind of like a supercharged microburst, and they just boom blasted it straight down. Kansas City. If you're in Kansas City, I sure hope you're a technician. Oh yeah. But yeah, you know, so I think it was a supercharged microburst, and I think they blasted that thing right down on the panhandle. You know, I think the one microburst that everybody saw that got real big was from either Germany or like Australia or something, and you see that cloud that's basically sitting on the water and rolling and sitting on the water, the skyfall look, and it just like kind of rolls up onto the beach, and you just start seeing all those umbrellas go flying. You guys remember that video? That was that microburst. I think that's what they're doing. I think they're capable of supercharging them and micro blasting straight down to the ground. And then they're also capable of doing the up version and super drafts up, making fire tornadoes or fire whirls or tornadoes or hurricanes, etc. You see what I mean? Like, the technology I think that these people have is so far advanced, we ain't got a clue. And then with the rocket launches that keep the rocket launches that keep taking place with the crazy spirals and the Apollo look. Dude. That is not no damn rocket. No kidding. KC? Man, I got a lot of Kansas City. You guys all technicians? Please tell me you are. That'd be radical. Not that it matters, but it's cool. I was just saying. Flood to drought, drought to flood. Like, just one extreme to the other. That's the automatic telltale sign right there. Nice. Okay. Man. Hell yeah. But you know, that's the sign right there. Like, that the weather is being manipulated. When it goes from one extreme to the other, it's like the weather trying to bounce back and like correct itself. Technician, like Tech Nine fan, like Tech Nine the rapper, you know, strange music. He's Kansas City, Missouri, and I'm a big time fan. 90 to 50 in 2 days. See, it seems the whole U.S. dropped extremely because I have contact with you guys, you know, and over on the west side, it seems the temperature's even dropped, and then even in the east, you know, it's dropped here in Ohio too. Um, it's what we've been doing, getting ready for winter here because we need to get some firewood. So we've been splitting wood and loading it up into the shed. Yeah, that's what I hear. Fool me not. That's what I hear. I've always been a great big fan. That's why I'm covered in Tech 9 tattoos. And met him twice. He's a cool dude. But yeah, man, you know, I've never seen so much crazy stuff taking place at one time ever in my life. I mean, this is nuts, guys, and it just keeps getting more and more strange. Those so-called rocket launches, like the SpaceX rocket launch, you know, the thing where it has like the little point at the front, and then it's got like the chariot being dragged behind it with ripples coming off of it. People, you know, I'm watching videos the other day of people making fun of people like us. Like, these idiot flat earthers think that's not a rocket. Like, are you shitting me? No kidding. We think it's not a rocket. Why would I ever think? Look at these clouds. Why would I ever think something that's rippling the reality right in front of my eyes is a rocket? I'm sorry. It's like portal waves coming off of it. Exactly. Thank you. Thank you for me. Now, that's where I'm at with it, you know? You look at so the very first time I saw the Norway spiral, I was blown away, right? And then that first SpaceX launch, like last year, the one that just happened last year, and then we had the one this year, right? The one that just happened like this month. So the one that happened last year, when I saw that, I made the connection to the Norway spiral. It's on my channel still. And then I was like, okay, not only does it remind me of the Norway spirals, but it also really reminds me of those pictures of Apollo back in the day. You know, he's like on that little, it's like a pointy, rounded capsule. It's like a teardrop, you know. There's all these pictures of Apollo inside of some teardrop craft flying with like those ripples or like wake coming off of it from thrust or some sort of combustion, right? And Flat Earth Asshole, or Jake the Asshole, whatever his name is now on YouTube. I think it's Jake the Asshole. I really like his channel. I like him. He's a cool guy. I don't know him or anything, but I'm just saying I like his channel. He made that connection the other day, and I was like, hell yeah, somebody made it, you know. I was blown away, and he pulled a lot of pictures that I remember of Apollo sitting up there and actually used them, and I was stunned. I was like, yeah, man, that's like dead on. That's exactly dead on. And then it's really strange because I started watching this movie the other day, and it was called I watched one first. It was called Cube Zero. Okay, I've watched the first Cube. I'm not really a scary movie guy, but when it comes to a dystopian type movie, I'll watch it. And I watched Cube Zero, and of course, the dude that's like the big guy, he runs in. There you go. Yeah, I like Jake. I like him. The one guy rolls in, and as they're overlooking the maze, trying to find the rat, you know, the guy comes in. He's got one little mechanical eye, so his other eye is in there normal, and he's like, "We do this to keep democracy ever going," and like they're trapping people against their will, and they're like political activists, you know, people like us in this maze with traps. Just craziness. And then I watched another movie called Black Road afterwards, and it's a cyborg cop in the free state of Jefferson, which is like Washington, Oregon, and Northern California, because it broke off from the United States, and there's witchcraft, black goo. Oh man, movie's intense. It's on Netflix. It's pretty good. I liked it. It was an intense movie, kind of funny in some parts, but whatever. It made me think of something and reminded me of something. That's why I said that. But yeah, it's so much craziness is going on right now, guys. I don't even know where to begin. And I have so many videos to make, so many, and I planned on making so many, and I always like get distracted, or like I said, I've been working this other job and had no time, been tired as could be. So I hadn't been really making any videos. I got so much on my video list. But how are you guys been? Everybody been alright? Living the good life, I hope. Hope so, anyways. I'm trying to up here in Ohio, but, you know, what can you do? Just live and live and live. And be grateful for what you have. That's all you can do. Exactly. Working and surviving. Yep. That's it. That is it. I had a lot of stuff I wanted to say. I can't. I had a lot of stuff I planned on saying. You're damn right it is, man. Defending truth is exhausting. Dude, you know what? I've been so down, so depressed. I just had to, I had to take a break. Like, I had to. It's, it takes quite a toll when all you look at is the negative and you try to show it to people. I mean, am I worried about it? I'm not happy about it, but I know there's no need to worry. God's got me, but people need to be aware of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, those clouds are insane all over here. Yeah, exactly. I just don't know anymore, though. But I'll probably call this I'll probably end this now. A lot of people are probably doing stuff and doing their thing. I just wanted to talk about the quantum computing real quick, give that little gist, and prepare everybody. Yes, we do. I usually stay in touch with quite a few people, and my emails it's been out there for a minute. In any of my old videos, you usually can find it. But yeah, I try to keep in touch with everybody. I try to email everybody, so I wanted to make sure I saw all these. Well, thank you, Kelly. I'll do the same. Actually, I was kind of worried there for a minute that, the mosquitoes, or God only knows what else had happened down there. You never know what could happen. So you're in my prayers a lot too here recently, with all that stuff bombing through the Carolinas, or at least claiming that it is. You never really know though, so best just to pray for people, because he does know for sure. So hey, you pray for somebody that might not need it. Let the big guy decide whether they need that prayer or not. You know what I mean? Let him decide if he'll answer it, like if it's needed. That ain't us. You too. But yeah, guys, hopefully I'll have a video out today. Another one. Like I said, I have a quantum video coming. A video kind of about blood coming, and what else? Oh, a couple more. I'll keep you guys up to date. We got it. New job, like I said, so the freedom is back. And yeah, I'll keep you all up to date later on. I love you guys. Leave a like if you have not, please. And yeah, dude, I'll catch you guys a little bit later on. Peace.